3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to the Disaster Party podcast. Right next to me is my co-host, Mr. Joseph Rojas. He also plays in a band called Rarehearts. And Joe, tell me what got you into doing Rarehearts. What got you into music?
Man, that's a loaded question. Just kidding. Music, honestly, funny enough, listening to Tupac as a kid.
Nice, I can hear that in your music.
It's like crazy, but I don't know what it was. There was just something in me as a kid. It was like, I want to do this music stuff. And I remember listening to Tupac and being like, I want to be a rapper. And then I was like, I want to be a rapper and a rock star. You know what I mean? I was like, I want to be like Kurt Cobain and Tupac.
I want to be like Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, well, he stole the dream. I was like, oh, he's doing it. Maybe not on the like I would like to, but. You know, I mean, maybe I would love to meet, what is her name, Haley? She's hot. Slim Shady was your dad a little bit? You know, like your stepdad now. Papa. No.
So you started wanting to be a rapper, and then what got you into playing guitar?
So funny enough, my dad actually, when I was really young, he used to play guitar a lot. Or not a lot, but enough, like just for shits and giggles, he'd play like La Bamba or something like that, you know. I don't think he really knew how to like thoroughly play guitar, but he had one. I still have that guitar. It's like a Yamaha Spanish like classical acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And it just kind of sat there after he had passed. And then 8th grade is when it all clicked for me. Like 8th grade, our teacher, Mr. Alvarez, was like a music... or he was just infatuated with music. He'd play guitar for the church and stuff during the ceremonies.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, he decided to get the whole classroom, like guitars, to teach guitar. Mm-hmm. And so after that, I just fell in love with it. I just like obsessed, because before then I was doing a lot of poetry. That's like really the beginning of my creative outlet. Like 6th grade, some teacher, Miss Science, was like, you guys want to do poetry? And like I don't know, I dove deep into it. Maybe it's the roots from wanting to be a rapper.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, cool. And I started getting into poetry. And then 2 years later, Mr. Alvarez had the guitars. And before then, too, I was drawing a lot. So I was always, like, exploring creative outlets. And then, and yeah, Mr. Alvarez, like, saw that I had a passion for it. And he let me take a guitar home at the end of the school year.
Nice.
I actually got, like, the Our Lady of Guadalupe Musician of the Year, whatever award, because I just loved it so much. Mm. And that was literally it. After that, I just like started trying to like self-teach myself guitar. And it wasn't until I think my sophomore year of high school that I joined the guitar club. And literally the rest is history. Like I just could not ever get away from a guitar or music or singing ever since.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I started.
Nice. So fast forward now into like, now you obviously have Rarehearts and stuff, which is your project. You do all the writing for that music. Tell me about the process of. I know that you recorded like an EP, and you just released a new song, "Tough Guy," not too long ago. Music video was actually made by the person who's doing this, right? Or you definitely helped, right?
Oh, he did it. This dude was behind.
This guy handled his shit. Shout out to Graze Multimedia.
Yeah,
by the way.
Graze Multimedia, run by Jay himself.
So how was that process like in recording Tough Guy or recording that whole EP in general?
The whole EP was interesting because it was like right before the pandemic hit. It was like 2019. I remember that December. So me and this producer Sam started working together. Long story short, Sam was like a part of this band called Tangent Transmission, which when I was in like one of my first major, like my first real band, the bass player of that band and one of my longtime best friends, Steve-O, who's now the frontman for Bony Knees.
Oh, okay.
He and I would go out and he showed me this band, Tangent Transmission, and they just had like this real cool Muse vibe to them. And I was like instantly super fan of theirs. And fast forward to 2019, Sam, who was their drummer, who I also always fantasize. Like, you know, when you just see a killer musician, you're like, I wish I could make music with this person.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I hit up, or my buddy Steve-O, when he started Bony Knees, he hit up Sam to produce his stuff. And I heard it, and I was like, dude, this is really good. And I kind of was excited. I was like, I want to give it a shot, you know?
Yeah.
So I hit up Sam. I've already had tons and tons of songs. Like, you know me, I just can't stop writing. Like, that's my thing. I just write all the time.
Yeah, how many memos you say you have on your phone right now?
Dude, right now I think we're at almost 1,400 now. Or some shit like that.
Holy shit, yeah.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Like DJ Khaled.
Yeah. Another one. And so... yeah, so he shows me the stuff that Sam produced. I hit up Sam. Sam's like, yeah, let's do it. I show him some songs. Prior to, so it's 2019, we start recording at ABC Studios in San Fernando, just like the scratch tracks. And then it wasn't until like August, I think, of 2020, where like before then, him and I were like recording a lot of stuff online. I forget the app's name, but like we were like trying to record just scratch takes and just like produce it via like online recording, which was interesting for sure.
Yeah.
And then I think August he was like comfortable enough, you know, I think the vaccine was already out. And yeah, he came to the studio, Eagle Rock Studios, and that's where I was living at the time, and we recorded it all there, and it was just it was a really fun process.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it's kind of like with you and me, or like even with Gray's Multimedia, like him and I, when we made the music videos, or whenever we do anything creative, it's just such a free-flowing experience where it's like we're thinking the same, oddly enough, you know? And that's kind of how it was with Sam. It was just like, oh, this is what I'm thinking. He's like, dude, like this. I was like, dude, that's literally what I, you know, and vice versa. It was a really cool, fun, creative process.
Yeah.
And that was it. I think we had the album completely ready by like the end of December 2020, which is kind of funny because here we are like 2023. We've only released 2 songs. We're about to release another one actually within the next month and a half for sure.
Yeah, you got a video for that one coming too, right?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to do a music video for every one of them. There's only 6 songs. Now we're halfway through. So
Nice.
we'll see what's up with that. But yeah, that was the process with Sam. It was pretty cool. We pretty much did most of the parts. Like I did a lot of the scratch takes by myself with him, but like I recorded a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then I think he may have gotten a couple guys to like do that crazy bass line and stuff like that. One of the songs, I think it's Tough Guy actually, there's like keys in it. I don't know if you really listen, and it's like funny, there's some BTS on Instagram of that happening, like I'm just like hitting the keys.
Yeah, he's just kind of hitting the chords along with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely really well produced, and so like after you release your first single, Good Times, you release the video for that. Is that when My Grito hits you up?
No. So My Grito, and this is like why it was such a fun, crazy experience. It was like the dream come true. Because I had worked hard on recording it, you know, writing, all that stuff. Honestly, when I recorded it, it was just for fun. There was like no real main objective other than to just record some fun music and try to get a band. You know what I mean? Like maybe if I build this, I can attract a band to play with.
Yeah.
And that was the main goal for Rarehearts. Otherwise, it was just a lot of fun. So long story short, I'm doing another photo shoot, and I get booked to Olivia open mic. Because Rudy, right? Like he shoots me. He listens to the whole EP. He's like, "This is cool, man."
Yeah.
We shot by the studio actually on 3rd Street, and yeah, he recommended me to Olivia open mic because I guess someone fell out, and he's like, "Oh, I just met this guy at Rarehearts. Like you should bring him on." And that's where I met Figgy.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. And I did that open mic, and because of that open mic, I think My Grito saw me perform, and the following week I was releasing Good Times, like just a single, not like no music video, nothing for it.
Yeah.
They heard the track and they were like, "Dude, we really like that song, like can we put that on a compilation album?" And I was like, "Please do." You know, because it's just good to get heard by as many people as you can.
Yeah.
And with that being said, they put it on the compilation album, and like a week or 2 later, 88.5, I believe it was 88.5, hit me up, and they're just like, not asking, they're just like, hey, we're playing your track on the radio on Wednesday. And I was like, what? Which was such a dream come true.
Like, wait, how did you get the file?
Yeah, well, it's because my Grito had it.
Oh, okay.
Because it was on their compilation album. Well, they hit me up, and then, like, we need the master and all that. But it was such a dream come true. I was very passive about it at the time. I had just released the song, and I played the show. It was almost like just getting insanely lucky. The right people heard it, and it was literally a dream. I almost cried when I heard it on the radio, because like I told the DJ who I know, Byron, really cool guy, and he was like, for the first time ever coming out of LA, like Rarehearts, and I was just like, it was on the radio, you know, it was so crazy. And so my Grito after that was like, dude, we were really considering signing you, like, what's up? And as you know, it was a really rough year for me. That year was like crazy. I mean, for that being the high of the year, like there were so many lows.
Yeah.
In 2021, it was a really traumatic year, and so, you know, like that's like not too long after, a couple months after that, you're like, hey, you want to play this show in Pomona? And I was like, yeah, no, life is hard. You know?
Can I pause for a sec?
All right, so where were we?
Oh yeah, I was talking about if I had a music video, right, when I signed with my Grito, and essentially what happened was they hit me up, and I was super slow, you know, like dealing with life, and they're like, you know, we're kind of considering signing you, but like, what's up? Like, what's good? And I was kind of like, I don't really want to sign with the label. And then also I was just life, right? It was really depressing and hard at the time. And so I kind of was just slow to responding. And eventually we chatted some more. And they're like, well, hey, like, maybe if you can get a music video to show us, like, it would really be encouraging, you know, for us to sign you. Because, like, to be fair, I wasn't doing anything. Like, I put out the song and then nothing, you know?
Yeah.
The one performance and then nothing. So from their perspective, I could see, like, what's good? Like, this is sounding good, but, like, what are you doing, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they're like, well, if you can get us a music video, we'll start talking. And so me and Jay put a music video together. And they were, like, blown away. They're like, we love this.
Yeah.
They're like, for sure, here's the contract. Like, let's have a meeting. Had a good meeting. And, yeah, the rest is history. They signed me. It's almost 1 year from, or we're coming in close to a year, like within 2-3 months, I think.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's how I got signed to them. We made the music video, and then ever since, I think I just kind of got addicted to making music videos with Jay.
Yeah.
So we made 2 more, and 2 of them are out, and one of them will be out within like a month or so. So.
Yeah.
And we will be making another one in that time frame, I think.
That's awesome. So besides the music videos and stuff, like I mean, obviously I play for you, and like you have the band, and now we have the band, and we're like moving forward with like we've been doing some shows and stuff here and there. What would you say is like your plan moving forward? Like, what would be your goal going into 2023?
My goal for 2023 is to release all of the music left on the EP, record some new music, which I do have I've been working on some really cool Rarehearts songs, honestly, that I'm like stoked about.
Yeah.
I'd love to write with the band, you know. I love being the main songwriter, but it's not like that's my main goal. Like, I'm not like, I'm gonna be it's just hasn't happened naturally yet, so I'm just like, so yeah, playing way more shows. Like, I want to play, like, for sure, the most shows I've ever played in my life this year. Because I really want to try to get picked up, like, by Pepper or any tour that I can do. You know, that would be amazing. To get onto K-Rock would be a great goal, which a DJ from K-Rock was like, you have a really good chance. Like, if you don't do it next year, you're doing something wrong. So that's been very motivational.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, just create with the band, tour if I can, and record new music. And yeah, those are like the big 3 for me. Like, I just really, really, really want to play some shows and take advantage of being signed right now, because it's funny, like, in the industry, right? Like, I think I'm more of the, like, independent side. I'm like, fuck no shade. I'm like, fuck a label. Not really, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm more about the individual and the artist and creating and exploring your expression, and I feel like sometimes that could be limited by a label.
Yeah.
But there is this other funny side to being signed where it's like, just feels a little more legit, you know what I mean? Where I'm like, no, I'm a signed musician, and people are like, oh,
Yeah.
that's cool, you know what I mean? And they just give you, it seems like a little more respect. You just get a little more pull. There are some cool opportunities, like the fact that I just did one podcast because of the label.
Yeah.
And because of that podcast, so many opportunities have come up. I mean, Pigs Radio happened because of that.
Yeah.
There was the possibility of opening up for Too Short, which is like so crazy. It doesn't even sound right to a certain extent. Like alt rock and Too Short, like blow the whistle, suck my dick, you know what I mean? Like all that crazy shit. And then I'm all over here, like totally opposite of that spectrum.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, wow, this is crazy. Like just because I'm signed and connected with these people, there are so many more opportunities. So like, I forgot the original question. But
No, you're doing good. It's just, yeah, pretty much just saying, like, you know, moving forward and stuff, like, you know, like, what is it that you want to do, but now you're doing good. but yeah, so going into 2023, it's just playing more shows, making more music. It sounds like you just want to keep doing what you're doing, which is great.
yeah.
So for artists that are coming up, maybe some artists that are just starting to make music, maybe this year, do you have anything, or maybe like a piece of advice to give them, like maybe something to inspire some up and coming musicians right now? Look at the camera and tell them. What would you tell them right now?
If I had any advice for any musician upcoming or someone who's just been doing it a long time, never stop. You know, like never stop. You just gotta keep pushing, like every day. I think that's one of the most important things is consistency. And I think that it doesn't matter how talented you are, like consistency will outweigh talent 100% of the time, I feel like, just because, yeah, it's so important, and you have to just keep doing it, like every day. It's gotta be your goal. That's my advice, you know, just don't ever stop. Like, plenty of people will tell all of us, right? Like, there's millions of musicians. It's impossible. You'll never make it.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, there was a time in my life where I felt like I had zero talent doing this, and I just never stopped. And now I feel like I'm somewhat talented, and I'm very excited to just continue doing this. I think that, and just do what you love, you know? Like, if you love this, if you love music, don't ever stop. Just keep doing it. If you love something else, invest your time in that. Like, as a creative, that's like the two most important things to me, is just really just do it and do something you love, you know?
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think that's a great way to end it right there. So thanks for joining the Disaster Party podcast. Joe's actually going to be co-hosting in the next episode. I just want to thank everyone for watching. Grace Multimedia, thank you for doing this. Andrew, thank you for doing sound. And we're out. See you next time.